to 11, when I'll talk to local and regional authors. So please join me Wednesdays here on 90.9 FM KSJE Farmington.
This is to my best friend. You know who you are and you know where you are at. My friend, it seems like it was just yesterday when we learned to ride our bikes together, to speak our native language. We did everything together, going to school, getting our first jobs. Then came the time when you said you had a mental health problem. Well, like yesterday, I am here for you, and together we will recover.
They'd be there for you. Shouldn't you be there for them? To learn more about mental health problems, go to whatadifference.samhsa.gov/native. This message is brought to you by the Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Tune in for Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Accept your intelligence.
Coming up, why poetry matters with Nobel laureate Louise Glück.
Poetry's cute, but does it really matter? Are we going to cure cancer with sonnets?
No, but poems often help us think and feel, and give us words to help our sorrow heal.
Come on, Josh, do you really think that's true?
Well, here I am, producing rhymes with you.
Why Poetry Matters, next time on Philosophy Talk.
Listen to Philosophy Talk every Tuesday at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. (8:52) Monday morning here on KSJE. It's time for our Monday Reboot segment. That's when we talk technology with my guest, Lewis Campbell from Cintigy Computer Systems, who is here in the studio this week. Welcome in this morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Hello, everybody.
Thanks for coming in. We got to talk about Elon Musk, don't we, and Twitter?
Yeah.
Right? We talked about him last time, too, I think, and what he bought. He's the majority stockholder now of Twitter, right, at 9%, 10% or something?
Well, there's so much that's gone on with Elon Musk. Okay, so you're a journalist. You have to keep opinion out of things. You have to stick to facts. Right. I am not a journalist.
Okay.
So noting that, I'm going to make the following statement.
Okay.
To me, Elon Musk is a twit. and so let me explain what I'm saying here.
Okay.
The end result of everything that happened over the last
Send your letters to Lewis Campbell.
Basically, not to Scott, not to the station. This is my opinion, only my opinion. Elon Musk basically spent, I don't know how many millions, billions, just to make a point. Right. So
it seems like it.
He bought 9% of Twitter, making himself the majority shareholder. Then he finagled them into offering him a position on the board. And then all the news outlets are saying, oh, he's going to be on the board. And then he used that platform to make a lot of statements about what he thinks is wrong with Twitter and how he thinks it needs to change. And then he said, never mind, I'm turning down that offer. I'm not going to be on the board.
Right.
So to me, it's like he spent the money just so he could,
But there was some kind of statement from Twitter that came out and said that that Elon wasn't going to be on the board, and it kind of made it sound like maybe he didn't turn it down, but maybe there was some issue because there was something about a background check that all board members have to go through, and something about some other qualifications or whatever, that just being the majority stockholder maybe was part of it, but then there were other things involved too. So I don't know.
And it may be related.
If you read between the lines, what that means.
If you work for just about anybody these days, I mean, in my profession especially, a 7-year background check is a standard thing. So maybe he failed the 7-year background check. That would be interesting.
Know why?
Well, yeah,
he would, but maybe he did. Who knows, right? And then someone else was saying that I guess if you're a member of the board, you are prohibited from owning a larger amount of stock in the company if you're a board member. And by him turning down the seat or not getting on the board, he could buy more shares of Twitter.
And this is why you're a journalist.
If he wanted to.
Because you have more of the facts than I do. So,
I don't know.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens. But anyway, thought it was interesting. He's an interesting man, to say the least. Whether you love him or hate him, I think that goes without saying. He's just an interesting guy. And, he has the money to do these interesting things.
Yep.
And we'll leave it at that. What else have you found this morning?
Well, Microsoft, and I'm sorry, I'm looking down. I'm looking at my notes here. Microsoft, came out with news this weekend that so Microsoft has this interesting relationship with the government, right? Because Microsoft is such a big company and they're involved in so much of the infrastructure, what we do, Microsoft kind of has this special position where they can do a lot of things to protect us cybersecurity-wise that other companies can't. Now, there's a lot of debate on how appropriate that is, how much power it gives them. Putting that aside, this last weekend, they came out with news about some hacking attempts. You could say hacking attempts. I would say platform hacking that they've disrupted by shutting down domains. So apparently there were a number of domains that Russian hackers were using to infiltrate other countries, and of course the Ukraine and some other ones. And those had been flagged and discovered by Microsoft, and so they went about both the technical and the legal process of shutting down those domains on the internet.
Okay.
And we're successful in doing that. Now, whether or not these Russian hackers just ended up finding and using other domains or whatever, but that may have happened. But that's interesting news again, because it comes on the heels of all this stuff going on in the Ukraine, but just other successful hacking attempts. There's been a lot of other interesting news in the hacking world too. Activist hackers have been taking down Russian yachts. We've been hearing a lot about Russian yachts, like all these oligarchs,
right,
and
the oligarchs,
countries
right, sure.
repossessing their lots and seizing them and stuff. Well, Russian hackers have been, or not Russian hackers, I'm sorry, activist hackers have been successful in taking down a lot of these yachts just by basically hacking into things and either getting the paperwork mixed up or getting the yacht itself to fail. So, when this is all over, I think maybe much later on, we'll learn a lot more. But I think a lot of stuff is going on in the hacktivist community where we're learning that there's just everyday people out there that are being very effective in doing
right.
stuff like this.
Well, and I think what we're seeing too with some of this is that we're really more of a global community, right? And it's hard to really be your own island, whether you're a country or what have you, and try to be insulated from the effects of the greater world community, right? And so Russia, I think, has discovered this with some of the sanctions and things like that, and even down to the average Russian citizen, that maybe they can't get to the bank or can't withdraw all their money if they wanted to do that, or can't use their credit card anymore because of some of these impacts that have had wide-reaching impacts. And you can't go to McDonald's because they're shut down, right? They're not doing business in your country anymore. And so I think we've learned that it's just more of a global community. And if you're an oligarch with a super yacht in Italy, they're going to find out, and you may not be able to keep ownership of that gigantic boat or whatever the case may be. And so just because other countries are getting involved and other people have information, and the internet is still this free flow in most cases of information back and forth. And so as much as you like to clamp down on it, I mean, China does a pretty good job, but some of the other countries don't, and that's, I think, a positive thing still for free speech and transparency and all those things.
I agree.
So that's what I have to say. From my soapbox.
I got one more. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm grateful for your soapboxes. I get on a lot of them. One more fun thing.
What do you got?
Cruise, the self-driving car company.
Yes.
One of their cars in San Francisco, the police attempted to pull it over. It pulled over initially, and then it ran.
No way.
Yeah. So
Wait,
the Cruise is.
Now there was a person in the car, right? Or no?
I think they had a backup driver.
Okay, sure.
But the police were kind of confused because
Right.
I don't know if they didn't know it was a self-driving car or if they knew it was a self-driving car but they didn't know what was going on. But there were bystanders that saw it, and I think there's even video. But it's just a really interesting thing. It's one of those bugs that they got to work out, right? So, Cruise issued a statement and basically said, hey, yeah, by the way, after this happened, the police pulled it over again, and they were successful. It wasn't a big deal. It just went, like a few feet or a few yards or whatever. But it was just an interesting little event.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay. Well,
something we got to figure out with self-driving cars and make sure that they respond to the police.
right. Appropriately.
Appropriately.
Exactly. All right. Very good. Well, Lewis, thanks for coming in this morning. Always
Thank
good to
you.
see you. We'll
Have
see
a
you
great
again
week.
next Monday.
Have a great week, everybody. Hey.
That's true. Very true.
So,
Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you. This is KSJE Farmington.
.com/funrun.
Hi, this is Adam Rodriguez. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4